This is a Brooklyn News special report.
And it is so good to be with you. I'm Jackson Mitchell. We're coming on the air at this hour as the House is currently voting in a unanimous measure here to release the Epstein files. You are taking a look live there at the House floors. The vote on your screen, there are no nay votes just yet. We're at 195, noting there are 435 members of Congress, 237 still representatives still have to vote. You're continuing to see that yes number continuing to rise. This resolution, this House Resolution 4405 that you're seeing those representatives vote on would require the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files here. So that is what you are watching right now on your screen. It's remarkable to see the House here vote unanimously, considering that this is such a rare moment. We know politics so divided, but to vote we are now seeing one no vote. It's unclear who that is just yet. I'm going to watch reporting here in just a moment to get an idea as to who that is here. As we begin, you're taking a look live during the House, but we see one no vote just coming in. I'm wondering, I might be able to determine who that is. I'm going to turn the volume up there, and I'm going to check who that no vote might be. You guys will have to stand by with me because it's going to take me just a second to figure out who it might be. Again, one no vote is what we're seeing here. House Republicans held a press conference. I believe House Democrats also held a press conference a few moments ago. I can check here. Sorry, I'm jumping on the air so quickly because this vote was going on a little earlier than we had expected it to, but you know, we're here at all times of the day to be on the air for you guys when there's breaking news situation just like this, with the House now voting on the release of the Epstein files. Stand by here. I'm going to do something really quickly here. You're looking live there at the House. Sorry for the silence there again. Sorry, I was just checking on something, getting some things fixed. I did a little bit of research before we were coming on the air here. And speaking of this, unanimous vote that we are currently seeing, and that no vote has since changed to a yes. It looks like maybe they were asking for a little suspense, asking for a few questions to be asked here. Give me 1 second. Again, the House voting here, 2:30 Central Eastern Time, 1:30 Central Time here. And what's so interesting is even the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, voting in favor of this bill. And to note, speakers of the House, they don't have to vote at all on legislation, and at any point in time, they don't vote at all on legislation. But you're seeing here the House voting in favor of this. This does come after originally Mike Johnson was against the release of these files. Now he is for it. Speaking of, now that the president is for it, the president changing his opinions recently as well. I believe we have video from that moment where he changed his opinion. Take a listen here.
Clarify something you posted on Truth Social last night. You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. We've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. So I'm for I don't. They can do whatever they want. We'll give them everything. Sure, I would. Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax. And I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time. Yeah,
Mr.
please.
President, on affordability.
That was President Trump yesterday. I know it said earlier, but that was yesterday, him addressing the files here. We're going to pull up because there were multiple press conferences today on all of this. We're going to watch it here because we'll be on the air here for just a little bit. We do have a slotted time out here, so we'll be on the air for quite a bit here. So I do want to play some video that we have gotten in from this all. I know Representative Adelita Grijalva, she held a press conference earlier, as well as I was saying, we had the House, Republicans coming together and holding a press conference. I have video. I am just getting in from earlier today of that event, so why don't I'm gonna pull up the point that we see Adelita Grijalva speak, because to note, she was the person who got the 218th signature needed to get this discharge position. As I was saying, originally Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was against this due to the fact that we're now seeing her speak in this video. Sorry, I'm just clearing. Okay, 1 second. I'll play it for you guys. What I was gonna say there is Adelita Grijalva was that person that got this vote to pass. We're seeing one nay vote again here. We'll see if it changes. As I was just noting a few moments ago, we saw that nay vote pop up on the screen and then it went back again. So we'll see here where it kind of goes. And I'm trying to get... interesting. I wonder if I'm able... Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm figuring out something here that we were just having some difficulties with. Is it on the screen now? Nope. Okay. Sorry, we are having some quick technical difficulties here. Let me see if I can change something, and maybe it'll work. I'm sorry, as you guys are seeing. We're all together on this. Also, I'm seeing that House feed just had a little glitch there. It looks like it might be back now, but kind of had to jump on the air pretty quickly to get you guys this coverage here. I'm going to check something quickly. There we go. Now it's working. I'm going to play some video here in a moment, so I just wanted to have a graphic ready for it. So that's what I was fixing there. Let's go full screen back out live to the House, where again they are having this vote. That nay vote now switched back to yes. It looks like these representatives probably just trying to get us to talk about it in the media, trying to get some type of conversation beginning, like, oh, who's this one person voting no? Because it looks like they are going to vote unanimously in favor of this all. It's really starking, I'll say that. It is quite starking and remarkable that the House voting all in favor of this. I think I noted this earlier, but I don't know if I got my full point out here. But the House, the last time that I could find on like a controversial bill that they voted unanimously in favor of was back in March 10th of 2023, when the House passed a 4-page bill, 419-0, that would require the Director of National Intelligence to declassify certain COVID-19 origin information. That was the last time that I could find when the House of Representatives. I mean, they're of course, it's similar to, like, I don't know if I can compare it to like the Supreme Court, but they have unanimous decisions at time about the law and what the law states. It's kind of like that, but it's rare. Usually those unanimous decisions are on smaller cases that aren't so big. So that's why I was noting and comparing it to rather a controversial case that we have seen in recent weeks. I'm going to wait till the vote is over here until I play some video for you guys earlier of what we have seen throughout today, because it has been very interesting what we have seen today from Republicans and Democrats. Sorry, I'm just going to take my earpiece out here to hurting my ear just a little bit here, but what we've seen earlier today from Republicans and Democrats, both holding press conference, what appears now to be unanimous vote. Speaker Mike Johnson had noted that earlier today. Now, what's interesting about this bill that would go to that, it's going to pass the House, but the question is, will the Senate take it up? And, you know, some people have noted, is the president all of a sudden going in favor of this simply because of the fact that there has been that he could simply say, hey, Senate, don't take this up, and Republican leadership would likely listen to him and not take this bill up there. So that is something that's also quite starking about all of this and what we are going to see. So again, the House could vote on this. But what happens in the Senate? We don't know, and that is just simply the question that has been asked this entire time. House, yeah, you could vote on it, but what's going to happen with the Senate? So, a lot going on, a lot to talk about it. We're going to get to it. We're going to kind of watch here and see what exactly occurs when it comes to this. Possibly, will it come to the Senate? That is, I think, an extremely valid question. Is this bill going to make it past the House and go all the way to the Senate? We'll have to see here. But again, the House appears to be on track to pass this. To pass this resolution, House Resolution 4405, you can see there on your screen, that would require the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. Documents related to the Epstein investigation. I know we've kind of began calling it the Epstein files because that is what kind of this name, and everyone gets what I'm talking about when I say Epstein files. Everyone seems to understand exactly what I'm talking about when I say Epstein files. That's where I'm getting at there. So that's why I'm gonna kind of continue using the term, because I know it's, you know, a little easier for people to get. But again, House appearing on track for a unanimous vote on these Epstein files. It's something remarkable, extremely remarkable. I would note that I mean, it's just so rare that we see congressmen, congresswomen, we see the American people agree on one simple thing, and that is here to release the Epstein file. We're seeing one no vote again. As I was saying, we've seen this multiple times now where there's one no vote, it pumps up for a quick second, then goes away again. So we'll see if it sticks, and if it does, we'll see who exactly is that person who decided that they were going to be a no vote in all of this. Again, at first, I had been compiling a list of Republicans who said they were going to vote yes, but then I kind of ultimately stopped doing it because as soon as President Trump changed his opinion on all of this, we played that video from the Oval Office yesterday. It began to look as if all Republicans were changing their view here. Democrats, they were all in favor of this from the beginning of it all. We're seeing a no vote stick on the screen here. I'm going to turn around really quickly here. Doesn't look like that. We are monitoring a few. So we're gonna watch that. I want to, because I know the Saudi prince was at the White House a little earlier. He's expected to leave now. Soon. I'm looking to see if we have a stakeout camera that we can use here for this. It looks like our only feeds are gonna be the House voting on the release of the Epstein file, so I don't see anything major here about the Saudi prince. He met with the president earlier today. We'll follow what happens there, where that could go. So, again, just a lot to talk about today. There's been a lot of news coming out of all of this. So much to follow. I've been trying to keep my track on all of it. I know in Brooklyn earlier this morning we had multiple collisions. I'm not sure if any of them were deemed fatal just yet, but multiple collisions with injuries beginning this morning, blocking traffic along all of Highway 49. So that's a story that's been ongoing also here in Brooklyn. We're going to have a special edition of Your Daily Brief coming up a little later. We're going to talk all about all of these stories. There's so much happening. Plus, the Department of Education could be finally, President Trump had promised that it would kind of be dismantled. Now, Secretary Linda McMullen of the Federal Education Department indicating that it could go that way. We're going to watch it all. We're going to see. We're going to talk about it in Your Daily Brief. So just kind of talking about a few things coming up a little later today for Your Daily Brief. When we jump off the air, I'll record that and get that out to you guys. We are going to, again, be on the air for a little bit here as we are continuing to watch the House. If you're just joining us, vote on a continuing... Whew, I'm used to the government shutdown. Continuing resolution. This is not a continuing resolution. Whether it's just a regular bill, a regular resolution. 4405. You see that number there? That's the number. The title that it's been called. House Resolution 4405. It would require the House, the Department of Justice, to release documents and files, as people have said, the Epstein files, the documents related to the case against Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, Epstein was someone who was alleged to have been sex trafficking minors. He was convicted of a few other charges related to that, but if you remember, he committed suicide back in 2019 as he was awaiting trial for all of this to begin. President Trump has remained that he had no relationship with them, though people are kind of questioning that because there's video, there's documents, there's flight logs showing that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump worked together, and oftentimes, though, the president...
On this vote,
let's listen in.
The yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Pursuant to Clause 8, Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on ordering the previous question on House Resolution 879, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Calendar number 47.
Alrighty, we've been watching there again. The House there just now in almost a unanimous decision. Almost every 435 representatives voting in favor to release the Epstein files. One voting not in favor. I'm gonna take a look behind me to see if I can figure out who that would be. One person again not voting in favor of the release here. I'm going to look on the clerk's website because I know it takes just a second for them to post the vote, but if it's on here, I will... 4405 was sponsored by Representative Ro Khanna. I'll look here to see, because I know they have... Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to see if I could get the people who voted. I know on the clerk's website you can view who voted with the not in favor of a certain bill. I might be able to go here. House 4405, view details. Okay. We'll wait here to see if we get that vote in just a moment. Of course, we haven't gotten it just yet. I'm taking a look, but it doesn't. I might be able to look it up. It is H.R.4405. No, they don't have any votes pulled up here just yet, so we'll wait for it to get posted. Of course, it's likely going to take a minute here. The big news again that the House voting to release the Epstein files. Its path forward, though, unclear. Will the Senate take this up? We don't know. What we are going to do here for just a moment, take a look, because earlier today, Representative Adelita Grijalva spoke with victims and of the Epstein files. She took questions. We have her portion. Representative Adelita Grijalva, she's important here because she was the person that got them that got them to cast the 118th vote on the petition here, on the petition to move this to a vote on the House floor to go around the Speaker of the House. Because as I noted earlier, the Speaker of the House didn't want this on the floor. He was against the release of this. Now he voted in favor of it. Why don't we have that video? We'll keep the House floor alive here because I know it's a big deal, a big issue, and something to follow here. So what I'll do here is I'll have it set up here where, let me take changing things around here. So, questions answered again earlier today by Representative Adelita Grijalva. Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of changing a few things around to make sure that we are able to... Sorry. A lot of news here, and as I was noting earlier, we kind of jumped on the air, so I'm a little less prepared than I usually am. But let's take you out live now to this Representative Adelita Grijalva. She had a press conference. She was answering questions on all of this earlier. Here is that. Listen in.
Your
strength is what makes this fight possible. Thank you to the 47 organizations who joined our letter. This coalition proves that when survivors lead, the nation must follow. Let me make one final call. Congress must pass the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The American public deserves the full truth. Survivors deserve justice, transparency, and accountability. Preventing the sexual violence epidemic in our country requires addressing this egregious harm and uprooting the systems and institutions that permitted and concealed it. Our democracy depends on our willingness to confront this head on. With that, we will now take about 5 minutes of questions. Yes.
You know, we're seeing, I mean, this is a demand from the nation, from people. It's not a partisan issue. So many people, regardless of political ideology, want to see what is in these files. Trump promised that on, when on day one, when he was elected, he was going to release the information, and here we are stuck. And my concern truly is that with this, partisan sort of launching of investigation of just Democrats that are implicated, that will hold up in some way the release of the full files. And so I do think that we have to look at that for sure. Yes. Yes. I think really any way that we can get more transparency and more justice for the survivors, we need to utilize every avenue. So if Prince Andrew has information that would be beneficial to Congress, then we should utilize that avenue. Well, I mean, if the leadership that has been working on this issue much longer than I have believe that he has insightful information, then we should utilize that option. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I believe it's another delaying tactic. I do think that the Transparency Act really covers that information and trying to protect survivors. And so, again, my concern is that there continues to be this resistance in releasing information that the public is demanding, because survivors are demanding it. And they need to be able to move forward and begin this healing process. And every turn that this administration takes in trying to prevent the full information from getting out is just another ploy to hold on and protect, pedophiles and protect people in power. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's just been revealed that Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett was actually texting with Jeffrey Epstein during the hearing. I know you're new here, welcome. But what is your response to that? And should Democrats move to censure her, saying she was texting with a convicted child sex offender?
I have no information about that. I can't verify that information, and so I'd rather not speak on it.
Happy to follow up on that.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your work on this issue. Thank you for being here.
Alrighty, that was Representative Adelita Grijalva holding a press conference a little earlier, a wide view there from earlier at the Capitol. Again, Representative Adelita Grijalva, she was the 218th signature to this discharge position that would go around the Speaker of the House and go ahead and bring it to the floor. And that is what we saw today. As you see there, the big text on this lower third, House votes to release the Epstein files. That's the big news today. Again, the House voting in a near unanimous vote. There was one no vote. I was waiting because we were waiting to see if we might be able to get a number from this vote. I'm not sure exactly kind of how this works. There's still no information, so it might come a little after the fact. GOP representative Clay Higgins was the only person to vote not in favor of this. Again, that is GOP representative, the Republican representative who represents Louisiana, the same state that Mike Johnson is from, voted not in favor of this. I'm not sure his exact standings on this. I might be able to figure out. I might be able to get some news here. So I'll research that in just a moment. Back out here live in Brooklyn News headquarters, and on the left side of your screen is the House of Representatives as they continue regular business here. We've been kind of monitoring that for the last little bit. House Republicans held a press conference a little earlier in the day. We want to play that out for you. Here is Speaker of the House Mike Johnson a little earlier in the day. Take a look here. Okay, maybe the audio will get fixed here. I didn't realize they were having some issues on it. It might come in the middle of us listening to this. Let's go back here.
In our districts,
There we go. Let's listen in.
members of the House, at least the House Republicans did at least, 6 weeks they spent in their district, and many of them will tell you, and they've said publicly and privately, they did some of the best work of their career because they were right there with their constituents at home in their districts, in their counties, in their parishes, in our case in Louisiana, working with their constituents and helping them navigate the consequences of the Democrats' pointless political games in the shutdown. They did some really important work. And we are ready and eager now to get back to the legislative session work, the other side of this job, so that we can deliver on our promises to the American people. The Republican Party has been doing this, and we will continue. We're going to continue to reduce the cost of health care. We got big plans to do that. We're going to continue reducing prices and the cost of living for American families. And of course, to finish the rest of the appropriations government funding process. We've been needing to do that, and we are already working around the clock to accomplish those objectives. But with so many pressing issues on our plate, just very frustratingly to us, the Democrats are delaying that work even further with a political show vote. They're forcing a political show vote on the Epstein files. So we're just going to address that right at the top here this morning. Because they've spent so much time, the Democrats have, spinning the facts and trying to confuse the people, that I wanted to come in this morning and just clearly explain for the people back home how we got here and why this vote is happening right now. First, a quick review of the relevant history here. For 4 long years under the previous administration, under the Biden-Harris administration, Democrats insisted there was no border crisis. Remember, they told you that that wasn't a problem at all. They dismissed inflation as transitory. That's what they told us. They told the American people not to believe what we could all see with our own eyes, that there was an obvious mental and physical decline on the part of President Biden individually. And now, seemingly overnight, these same cast of characters, they've taken a sudden and urgent interest in the Epstein investigation. Suddenly, it's all in the name of transparency. That's what they're trying to tell us. But the truth is, the biggest proponents of this discharge petition were never actually interested in transparency or ensuring justice or protecting victims of this unspeakable tragedy, the Epstein evils. And how do we know that? Because the Democrats had every one of the Epstein files in their possession for the 4 long years of the Biden administration. The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly, and it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government. Same ideology behind this. Democrats are trying to use the Epstein matter as a political weapon to distract from their own party's failures. And in a desperate attempt, they're trying to somehow tie President Trump to the scandal. President Trump has nothing to do with it. He has said himself he has nothing to hide, and that's clearly what they've been trying to do. They're trying to attack President Trump. This is what they've done. They weaponized the justice system over the last several years to go after him, and this is their latest attempt. And they don't have a platform or a principle to defend on the Democrat Party side, so they put all their eggs in this basket. And that's why you hear endlessly about Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Everything's about Epstein. Now, this was an unspeakable tragedy, we said that. And we have great compassion for the victims. And I'm heartened that I met with the victims. Our House Oversight Committee members met with the victims, and they deserve justice. It has been too long delayed. Not just justice for what they were made to endure, but also we need answers on why it took so long for the Department of Justice itself to do that job under previous leadership. Republicans, meanwhile, are working in earnest to deliver transparency to the American people, and we're working to do that in a responsible manner that does no further harm to these innocent people and the victims who have been wrapped into this. There are a few key facts here that everybody needs to understand. First, I mentioned the House Oversight Committee doing its work. That is a bipartisan effort. They are already producing far more than the discharge petition even anticipates. Chairman Comer is our chair of oversight. Some of the biggest bulldogs in Congress serve on that committee, you all know, and I've mentioned this so many times. They have been, on the Republican and Democrat side, they're deeply dug in. They've been working around the clock. They worked even through the government shutdown, and there were tranches of documents that were released even over that period. So far, by last count, it's over 65,000 documents, Epstein file documents, that are now out in the public for everyone to review. That includes tens of thousands of pages from the Epstein estate. And that includes Epstein's
Alrighty,
flight
that
logs,
is from
his personal
earlier
financial
today during the
records.
GOP press conference there, Mike Johnson, where we're listening to that after the House voted to release the Epstein files. The path forward, unclear at this hour, where the Senate might go with this, if they even take it up. As you know, there's so many bills that don't even get taken up. Whether they get lost in the sauce over in the House or the Senate, or simply just a bill that the Republican leadership doesn't feel is necessary to take up. So, again, that was from earlier as Speaker Mike Johnson addressed during a GOP press conference. Now back out here live, Brooklyn News headquarters. On the left side of your screen, you see moments ago when the House was voting on this resolution. We've learned that the Republican from oh, he 13 minutes ago he posted on X, Clay Higgins, I'm sorry guys. For some context here, Clay Higgins was the only no vote in this. He posted on X here moments ago. I will put the full statement up on your screen. Give me just a second. This is what live news looks like. I'm going to put it up in a fancy little graphic we have. So give me 1 second. There we go. Found it. This is from representative that represents Louisiana, Clay Higgins. I'll read it out to you guys in just a second. It's quite lengthy, but he says he's kind of been a no. He's been on a principled no on this bill from the beginning. I am getting that up for you guys right now. This is Clay Higgins. So, guys, this is kind of what live news looks like. We're getting the news in as we are speaking. So, I want to get this all out to you guys and make sure it is, of course, 110% correct. And that we have. Let me remove the link. Please. Okay, I'm about to get it to you guys. Again, this is the Republican representative from Louisiana on his no vote, just saying why he voted no. As you continue to look at the House of Representatives, as they are voting on this resolution moments ago over in the House. I'm gonna sorry guys, I'm gonna get it to you guys. It takes just a second to get things pulled up onto the live. Okay, this is the statement from moments ago at 1:41 p.m. It's 2:04, so just about over 20 minutes ago, from Clay Higgins. He is the only representative that voted no. Let's take you over to that now.
Clarify something you posted on Truth Social.
This is his statement. It reads, quote, "I have been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. What was wrong with the bill 3 months ago is still wrong today. It abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure in America. As written, this bill reveals and injures thousands of innocent people, witnesses, people who provided alibis, family members, etc. If enacted in its current form, this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files released to a rabid media will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt. Not by my vote. The Oversight Committee is conducting a thorough investigation that has already released well over 60,000 pages of documents from the Epstein case. That effort will continue in a manner that provides all due protections for innocent Americans. If the Senate amends the bill to properly address privacy of victims and other Americans who are named but not criminally implicated, then I will vote for that bill when it comes back to the House." And that has been, I want to note, a little bit of a question here from Mike Johnson. You know, him blaming this all on kind of saying that it wasn't necessarily the right thing to do. And it kind of, there's been this question, is the Senate going to amend this? Is the Senate going to amend this? Because that's been kind of the concern you're seeing here raised by Clay Higgins, saying if this is going to kind of go against what, and not help these victims. So, again, it's going to be something to watch for. I want to go out to the House of Representatives again from moments ago when the announcement came in on the passage of this resolution. This is moments before it all happened. We're going to listen back into it when it comes back on your screen here. Again, that is from moments ago over at the House of Representatives. When he begins to speak, I'll take it there live. Here, that moment is.
On this vote, the yeas are 427, the nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Alrighty, you see their cheers there in the House of Representatives from just moments ago when they passed a resolution that would release the Epstein files. Of course, as you know, if something passes in the Senate, if it passes in the House, it has to go to the other chamber. In this case, it has to go to the Senate. The question is, will the Senate take this up? We are going to have to watch and see this all play out as we are continuing to watch their moment to go from the House of Representatives. That is going to do it for our coverage on this Tuesday. It's about 2:07 p.m. right now, lying back here in Brooklyn News headquarters, here in our at-home studio, our makeshift studio that we've come up to be. It's worked out for what it needs to do, to say the least. Again, the only no vote in this all being the Republican representative from Louisiana, Clay Higgins, saying that it would put the victims, the witnesses, and those related to Jeffrey Epstein and the acts that he committed in danger, in harm's way. Therefore, that is a reason he voted no. That does it for us on this, what is today? It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday, November 18th here. So, our thanks to everyone who tuned in throughout the last little bit. We'll see what the Senate does. That's the question. That's the next question that has to be answered. What does the Senate do in this case? Okay, let me wrap it up finally. That is for us. I'm Jackson Mitchell here in Brooklyn News headquarters. We'll see you all soon.